Hi TDM owners, this is another quick review from me. My 2003 900 TDM. I have just changed the tyres. Now I've been riding for the last 3 years on Bridgestone Battle Axe BTO 23s, which were okay. Fairly good mileage, around 10,000 miles, and handled fairly well. I decided to go for something a little bit more modern this year, so I've switched to the Dunlop Roadsmart III. I've got to say, I've only been using these for about 500 miles, but my initial impression are wow. They've completely changed the way this bike handles, the way it wants to tip into corners. I've not ridden in the rain with them yet. It's been pretty dry since I put them on, so I can't really comment on their wet weather grip, but from all accounts they've got a really good reports regarding longevity and wet weather and dry weather grip. So it's the Dunlop Roadsmart III. As you can see already, I'm pretty much down to the edge of the tyre on the corners, certainly on the right hand corner, roundabouts and things like that. It really does want to tip in quite easily, a lot easier than I found on the BTs. With that said, obviously what you're starting to do then is scrape the foot pegs quite a lot more, which is interesting as I'm heading for 60 years old. But yeah, it just wants to do it. So a couple of occasions I think I've really got to the actual edge of the tyre. I don't think I've ever done that before. As you can tell by the front tyre, the scrubbing is pretty much getting very close to the actual wall there. Certainly on this side, again with the roundabouts. Not quite so much on the left hand side. Don't have the same opportunities on the left hand side, and I've also got the centre stand that I have to worry about. But all in all guys, the first impression on these tyres they are fantastic. What I did find when I first put them on is that they are a lot firmer than the BTO 23s. So I'm riding with the tyre pressures lower than recommended. I think according to the manual, the tyre pressures are 33 or 33 front PSI and 36 in the back. I started off with that and it felt really jarry. I wasn't going to start messing around with my suspension settings because I really like them as they are. So I thought, okay, I'll mess around with the tyre pressures and try and get it back to feeling a little bit more comfortable. So I've dropped the front down to a 28 PSI and that's working really well. Again, everything I need the bike to do, it's fine, but it's a lot more comfortable because I think they're a lot firmer tyre. On my back tyre, I'm using 32. So basically, I've dropped the tyres down 4 psi, down to 28 in the front, down to 32 in the back, and it feels as they used to with the BTO 23s. But honestly, they corner and grip and steer so much better. Even at slow speed maneuvering like U-turns and things like that, the bike now wants to tip in more than it did on the Bridgestones. So I can't at the moment, like I say, comment on wet weather grip, but certainly dry weather grip, I'd really recommend them. And I've always found that when I wanted to kind of look at new tyres, there wasn't a lot of information out there about what people were using and whether they're any good or not, but I would highly recommend these Dunlop Roadsmart 3s, but you may have to ride with a slightly lower tyre pressure if you want the comfort and you don't want them to be too jarry. So that's all. That's another little video. I'll come back with something else in the near future. Cheers.